Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and it becomes clear why the WhatsApp messages of the SNP have been deleted, hidden, covered up, and subjected to secrecy at the highest level. Some of them have been revealed, and it is, well, I'm going to just say delicious. For you see, the relationship that they like to lie about, how what Hamza Yousef and Nicola Sturgeon were the very bestest ever of chums, and that they were so aligned with each other all the time, and he was like her shadow, her padawan, and she loathed and hated him. At the time of COVID, and he became at the end of COVID, he became the health secretary, the health minister, should we say, and he was charged with making the NHS get back to normal, improve it, etc. And he started coming up with ideas. Unfortunately, the leaderine, she did not like his ideas, but he was standing his ground. And I've got to be honest, I'm very surprised. I didn't think he had the balls. Turns out he's got some very, very tiny balls. So these WhatsApp messages have now been revealed, and it isn't good reading. She was absolutely afaheed with anger. She was furious, fuming, and so angry, apoplectic with anger. Yousef accused his boss of putting a hatchet job on his work. She accused him of being stupid. He was trying to, what he said was, boost the health services recovery after the COVID pandemic. And she said that from the beginning, the document this plan, he said, that he was doing hasn't been in the right place, far too policy heavy. This is him complaining about what she wanted, and not enough focus on what he wanted, which was ambitious outcomes that would be easily understood by the people, rather than what she wanted, which was control, policy, little tiny things that meant that in future more control can be centralised and things like that. He said, his words were, the buck stops with you, and we will work hard this week to try and get there and try and find something that might possibly meet your expectations. So he was obviously very upset with her interfering in his work. Now, she replied about this. She's obviously read this, taken it in. She said, yeah, it needed a lot of work. Talking about his plan, it needed a lot of work. She said, I'm reading a revised draft of the recovery plan and still feeling it needs to be translated into acceptable English. So what? She's criticising his language because she can't understand him or whatever? She says it's very frustrating what I'm reading. She said, I'm going to spend some serious time today trying to get the plan into even a semi-decent shape. But I'm pretty furious that you've sent it to me again in such a poor state. All is not well in the house of Crank. He said back to her, after this meeting with bereaved families, I'm about to go into, I'll get back onto the team. I'm happy to speak to you to hear your specific concerns. She replied, my specific concerns are that it's bloody awful. Not well. You see the fighting, and yet they all come out and go, oh, yes, but everything's great. Everything's great. We're all happy. One big happy family. Yeah. Unbelievable, isn't it? Criticism came after Sturgeon then launched the document that she was finally happy with. 8 days later, she'd done a lot of amendments to it herself, and she said it would deliver an NHS that is innovative, sustainable, and stronger than ever before. It was quickly criticised by politicians and experts who branded it useless. Well, there we go. So she was right about one thing when she looked at his plan. It was useless. Everyone agreed it was useless, and she made it worse. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why they do not want their WhatsApps put out there. They loathe each other. Who knew? At the front, out in the public, it's all smiles and ice creams. Behind the scenes, stabbing in the back. Hatred, loathing. Well, at least they both get to spend more time with their family, or somebody's family. and they're no longer damaging Scotland with their efforts. What a pair. Thanks very much. Bye.